When you're in the wildlife removal business, what can start out as a quiet and peaceful morning can quickly turn to it's just a day on the job. When raccoons, squirrels, and bats see this guy coming, they know he's going to give them an eviction notice. Meet Jared Huliston. He has been in the wildlife removal business for 13 years, and for the past 4, he has co-owned and operated all wildlife.
Well, it goes back a few years when I was a kid. We lived on a farm, so I was always in with animals, but ended up moving into the city. I went to school to be a police officer, and then graduated, decided it's not what I want to do, worked for another company for a few years, and then left them and opened up my own company.
Every day presents a different scenario. Today, a squirrel has fallen into a chimney.
I highly suggest if you don't have a cap on your chimney to get one. And so what happens is a squirrel comes in, he's trying to nest right now and ends up going to the top of the chimney and fell down. Well, they can't climb back up, so he was stuck there. So this is the call we get all the time.
Yep.
He's in now here.
Keep doing that. Keep doing it.
So we have to come in and actually grab the squirrel by hand underneath and get him out.
Okay, I got him. He's biting pretty hard right now.
And basically, we just go up with our Kevlar gloves and we can feel him biting on us, but they can't penetrate the skin. And we basically just grab him, take him outside and let him go, and then we'll go upstairs and cap the chimney. It's a basic call for us. It's something that happens pretty much daily in our industry.
This little guy didn't make it past the chimney, but oftentimes squirrels make their own way into a house, and it's not a pretty picture.
Yeah, they're fast, and people wake up and their molding on their windows are all chewed because he's trying to chew from the inside out. So once in even just a few hours, while you're at work, the squirrel will cause mass amounts of damage.
So we're here today, and we've got called from a customer for a squirrel causing havoc to her vegetation and going on the roof. Once we arrived, we found half this tree from the backing of the tree has been stripped clean from the squirrel, and he's taken the items up on top of the roof in a little cove to build a nest. And we're about to go up into the nest and see if there's babies, and more than likely we'll get them out and we'll put them in a little baby box where from there they can be reunited with the mama, and we'll remove the nest and she'll relocate them somewhere else. Bring that up for the nesting material. The big branches we'll throw down, but all the leaves and stuff I want to put in here. Okay, so we're on top of the roof, about to enter inside here, this little cove. We got a nest, as you can see, the nesting materials coming out. Half a tree's been stripped down on the customer's lawn and brought up here for nesting materials. So let's get to it. Fasten you and start going in. I just want to get a shot of this first. Hang on. I think we're empty, boys. Another couple days maybe, but she's close. All her fur's been missing. Look how much stuff she has brought up from somebody's old outdoor chair or something. That's a lot of stuff. But no babies in here.
Squirrels, raccoons will chew right through roof vents. They'll go through the plumbing vats. They'll push up soffit panels. So what we do is we go and secure these areas with screening and or reinforcing them with screws, so then we can walk away and you'll never have a problem again.
We're on our way to Port Dover. We have a girl that's called us. She says to us a massive squirrel and or rat problem that needs to be addressed right away. So she's asked if can we come out today. She needs this address. So right now we're on the 45-minute to an hour drive from Brantford to go see her. It's not uncommon for us to drive that far, and we service southwestern Ontario. So wherever we have the problem is usually where we end up. Pretty rotten wood here.
What are you prying this up for?
We're prying up. We have squirrels that are chewing through here, but somehow getting into the building. So we want to see how they're getting in so we can stop them at the structure rather than just putting traps out or anything. We want to actually fix this problem for them. Usually all the time we come for a squirrel, we'll find mice or rats, or in this case raccoons. You come for raccoons, you find mice evidence or bad evidence. Kind of goes hand in hand. A lot of people have wildlife in their house, but they just never know it until a little tiny problem becomes a big issue. So now we've got here, and she said she has mice issues. She's got the squirrel running around. Now we found a raccoon into the chimney too as well. So ready to quote up and see what she wants to do. Days like today when it's pouring rain and we can't get a lot of work done, we'll revert back and do behind the scenes stuff like marketing, social media, internet, upgrading, website, getting supplies made, supplies done. All the behind scene the stuff that has to happen happens on days like this or the weekends. So even though we're not working, there's always work to be done and to prepare for that next job. So yeah, days like today, even not on the roof, but we're still working.
There might not be a typical day in this business, but in the spring, it's baby season. The crew is responding to a call of a raccoon in a chimney with babies.
So we were pulling her out and I had her snared in behind on her stomach. But what she did is she actually got out of it, so the snare went up and around her neck, and that's not humane. We could snap her neck. So what I did is we actually released her. It takes a little bit longer to get her out of the chimney, but in the long run it's going to be humane, and she's going to be okay to take care of her kids.
Come on, girl. Give me that snare pole. Hold this. She's coming down! Coming down! Put that down. Bring it up, actually. Flick it back on. Keep wiggling that! Keep wiggling it! Get it down there. Coming up like an inch by inch. Give me this. Hold this. I'm going to push her up with the snare pole underneath her. Trap. Open the trap.
And I'm known to my guys as you can say, I don't handle bad smells very well. All right, being in this industry, I should.
Mama is pulled out of the chimney from the rooftop, while the babies are rescued from inside. The crew works together fluently with their timing to ensure Mama and the babies are removed safely.
I'm doing what I love. I found a passion so I can go to work for 12, 13 hours a day. I get home at the end of the day, I'm not exhausted. It's because I love what I do. The actual job part about it, the best time of year is right now. It's March, April, May when we have the baby calls, and we're actually got little squirrels or little raccoons, little skunks, crawling all over us. We even get to small hawks, owls coming out of the nest and handling them, to deer, fox, and coyote pups. So I mean, we get a broad range. We've also done horse rescues and stuff. So these are the moments that make our job worthwhile.
4.
There's another one in there.
Hang on. I think I got one more.
Yeah, there's another one in there for sure.
Close it.
That's the number one question we get. Well, we don't hurt them. Our model is we don't kill anything except the competition. It's true. What we'll do is let's say if babies of any sort, it doesn't matter if it's birds, raccoons, squirrels, we'll remove them from the attic or the house. but we put them in what we call a heated baby box, all right? And we put them near the entry hole where the mama was going into the home. So when mama comes out of that house, she's now locked out because we've used a one-way door. We've secured the house that she can't get back in, but she's immediately reunited with her kits as soon as she comes out. So she can go into the box, stay there for a bit, feed the babies, and when she's ready, she can actually grab her pups one by one and relocate them to another den site. So we don't do any of the relocation because it is illegal. We let mama do it all. She does all the hard work, and we just set it up. It's illegal to trap and relocate over a kilometer. You're allowed to do it within 1 kilometer, but we don't suggest that people do that. Here's why. If it's diseased in any way, you're potentially spreading the diseased animal into an uninfected area. Another option is if there's babies. You may have caught mama and you're taking mama away from the babies, which will essentially die. Or vice versa, you've taken a baby away from mama and the other ones and you're taking that one away. So we don't suggest it. You know, if you have to trap an animal or you're going to do the trapping on your own, we say capture the animal, okay? Put it aside for as minimal amount as you can. Go and plug the hole, all right? This is for the do-it-yourselfers. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then call a professional. And then after you've sealed that hole up, you can walk away and let that animal go right on site. And it's even with the do-it-yourselfers, what'll happen is they'll plug a hole and, you know, they've caught one, but there's 2 more left inside. So now you've got dead animals, you've got chewing, you've got animals coming into the living space because they can't get out. It's not recommended. Call a professional.
It's a cold Monday morning in Guelph, and Jared is on the scene, responding to a call of a mama raccoon and babies in an attic. It's also a situation where another company came to do the job, but did it incorrectly.
So we were called by Graham, and we got here to find out a previous company was here, and they came in and on my investigation in the attic, I seen that there was poison laid out, there was a trap in the attic, there was a contraption outside that wasn't functional to get the animal out. It is baby season, and to find out from the customers, this professional company came in and didn't do a baby search, actually caused more damage. The raccoon came out, busted through another way to get back in, and through 2 weeks of methods of this other company trying to get him out, he still couldn't get the babies out. So what we've done is we've come in, Graham has hired us to do a full eviction, full prevention, and get it done right. And after we're done, we're not going to have any raccoons coming in. The babies will be humanely relocated by the mama, and from there, probably break into another house. But yeah, so we're coming in and we're successfully solving a problem for our customers, which is what we do every day.
So in the middle of the night, one night, we heard a lot of thumping and scratching, and so we actually didn't know what it was, but we started to figure that it's possibly a raccoon or something bigger than a mouse.
I heard clatting of nails, so it was clat, 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 plump. So it sounded like a bigger animal. They're cute, but yeah, when they get bigger, hope they don't come back.
When it comes to raccoons, it's not uncommon to see them during the day, but there are signs to look for when it comes to distemperament in raccoons.
Only time you need to worry about raccoons if they're acting odd. If they're just walking down the street, walking across, and if they're climbing normally, typically that's a healthy raccoon. Yes, they're usually just nocturnal. But again, in the mating season and baby season, and especially spring, they're foraging for food, they're establishing new territories, they're looking for food, so you're going to see them during the day. If you see them with crusty eyes, seizuring, falling over, not being able to climb, that's when you should be concerned, and you should be calling animal control or a professional wildlife company. The distemper call that we went on, unfortunately when it comes to wildlife control and being humane, there are those times where we have to make that call. And with a distempered raccoon, we don't want to hurt an animal, but it needed to be put down for the reason of it's protecting the other wildlife. All right. Distemper can be transferred to other canines. So let's say there's a dog in the area that got in a fight with that raccoon and wasn't vaccinated, it could get distemper. Or if this raccoon's not taken care of, a coyote could grab it and eat it, and now he's got distemper. Or a fox could have a fight with it. So by taking this diseased raccoon out, we've actually are saving the population. So it's a part of the job that we don't like, but sometimes we need to do it to protect the future.
So we're here today because we received a call from a guy that had raccoons and squirrels in the attic. So when we got here, we initially did the inspection and noticed that there is no insulation and mass amounts of squirrel and raccoon feces in the attic. So they're looking to sell this house, and obviously they couldn't do it in that position. So they called us in. We've already removed the raccoons and squirrels, and we've prevented them from getting back in, but it's the remediation that's today. So what we're doing is we're removing all the raccoon defecation, squirrel defecation. We're decontaminating the attic through a spray that will kill all the remaining bacteria, and then we're reblowing all the new insulation back up to code.
My mother, our family moved into this house 60 years ago in the early 1950s, and my mother's been here ever since. And she lived here along with my brother for the last 20 years, but she passed away 2 years ago. So right now we're in the process of remediating some of the problems that have shown up over the years that have not been addressed. And one of them is the animal problem. Animals have been entering the attic and have been tearing at the soffit and fascias. We've known it's been a problem for the last several years. It's been not addressed. But we had a home inspector come through, and one of the main critiques he had of the home was the attic needed to be addressed and the animal problem. And he recommended Jared and his company.
Squirrels, raccoons will chew right through roof vents. They'll go through the plumbing vats. They'll push up soffit panels. So what we do is we go and secure these areas with screening and or reinforcing them with screws, so then we can walk away and you'll never have a problem again.
It's not just raccoons and squirrel calls. Skunks are also a common call for Jared to attend. He has even responded to calls of skunks inside a house.
Usually it's an unfinished basement, all right, it's a dirt floor, it's not a foundation house, it's an old dwelling, and sometimes old coal chutes or places under a deck, they dig under and get under the house. So then they migrate and work their way up. They'll go up through furnace vents, they'll climb up the stairs and meet customers right in their kitchen. We got a call for a construction site down in Chellards Lane in Brantford, and a skunk fell in through a half-built house. And when I got there, he dug himself into a hole to only have his butt sticking out in the air. So there was no option but to go grab him. He wasn't coming out. They had to start building the house. So this was the day that I knew I was getting sprayed. So I put the mask on, went down there. You try your best to fold the tail down so you don't get a direct spray, but we all got sprayed, me and the guy I was with. So yes, I was actually vomiting, eyes watering, and a lot of people don't understand the smell that you pass a dead skunk on the highway. Oh yeah, you smell skunk. Being directly sprayed, it's an acid that basically almost burns you. Your eyes start watering, it burns your lungs, and it's not a pleasant smell. And yes, I had to take about 3-4 showers. All my clothes were outside for a week, airing out. It's not a pretty sight.
So how do you get rid of the skunk smell?
Yeah, there's so many internet-based, use this, use that, use this. For pets and animals, we say skunk be gone. You can get them at most vets if they get sprayed. But when you're talking about us, basically you put it through the wash, your clothes 3 or 4 times, right? Let them air dry on the outside on the clothesline for a day or 2, and basically that's it. If they sprayed in the house, we'll set out pans of activated charcoal and baking soda.
Bats are very prevalent during the summer season. And as Jared explains, many people are unaware of how many bat issues there are in the area.
A lot of people don't know about the problem that they have because they're uneducated. Basically, if you have a bat in the living space, it's 99% chance you have a colony in the attic. Okay? Bats don't just fly in through open doors or open windows. They have no reason to be in your house. So when we say, is there a problem in Brantford? Yes. First and foremost, it's education. If people don't know, they're not going to be worried about it. But as a colony and as I guess you could say bats per capita, Brantford's probably one of our hot spots. So is Stratford. Hamilton, yes. When we get down in Burlington, Oakville, we rarely get a bat call down there. We don't know why, but it's typically probably because the insect population There's a strong wind down there. The mosquitoes don't get blown away. There's no standing water, but in Brantford we have some marshy lands. We have, you know, escarpments. We have the Grand River. We have areas that allow the breeding grounds to take place.
Bats and raccoons can cause extensive damage to homes.
Most expensive damage or most expensive call will be a bat call and or raccoon. And because of the feces and the amount of protection we need to do on a house, but I'll tell you, the dirtiest, the scummiest, the ones that we never want is the one that have a raccoon call that's been there for years. And typically it's an older home, there's older people in there, they've either went to a nursing home or have passed on, and a new couple comes in and realizes what the problems are in that house. We had one house that was literally about 1 foot or 2 feet of raccoon feces through the whole attic. You popped the attic hatch up and it was unreal. So it was full HEPA gear, full contamination gear. The guys would come out of the attic, they'd have a shower system, they'd have to decontaminate themselves. We had to isolate coming out of the vacuums and into the bins all the raccoon feces. So it's a biohazard. And in 80% of all raccoons carry a roundworm in their feces that if you inhale or ingest, now you have a worm literally growing in your body and eating your brain. So it's a deadly, I guess you could say, a deadly profession that we're in, but we take the precautions to make it safe.
There is more to Jared's job than just wildlife removal.
Knowing the business is one thing. Getting it up and running and marketing and the internet and behind the scenes stuff, that's the hardest part of any business. If you know what you're doing, the frontline work is the easiest part. It's the behind the scenes with accounting and stuff. That's where we've struggled, where I've struggled. And that's when I brought in help and brought in, you know, my receptionists, bookkeepers and stuff like that. And then our web guy is amazing. So he's turned us from, I guess you say, at the bottom to now at the top.
Another inspection to go do, unknown in attic, and right now in Brantford, but I got to go over there and spend like an hour or two doing those big property manager quotes, man. I got to get that done. I want those in today.
Over the past 4 years, Jared has continued to grow his company. So what does it take to work in this industry?
Well, what happens is in this industry, it's not like an electrician where you can go and, you know, you learn your electrician trade, you come out of school and you're an electrician. You can go to school to learn the biology of the animals, the behavior and the breeding patterns and such, but when it comes to actually a wildlife control company, you can't learn it without actually learning it from one of the trade. Like, you have to be in the job to learn. We've got green people, and it's not only about skill, it's about your attitude. All right, so we've got a guy that he's just out of school, he had no idea how to, you know, put a screw in a wall. But he had the ambition, he had the drive, and he had, I guess you could say, the smarts and the looks that would blend well with our company. Now he's one of my #1 salesmen, and he's learned for the last 3 years, and he's probably one of my top guys. So it doesn't limit yourself. It gets you in the door if you have those skills, but it doesn't limit yourself. There's a big turnover rate when we first start hiring. A lot of guys think, again, we're like the SPCA or, you know, the guy with that trap that comes. They don't know that we're dangling from climbing gear and fall arrest gear from high-rise apartment buildings. We're up in boom truck lifts. We're general contractors. We're construction workers. Where we differ is we have that compassion for the animals, that we're always humane, but we're actually fixing houses. So again, you have to be strong-willed. You got to be able to work hard. You know, my guys are starting at 6, 7 in the morning, getting home at 8, 9 at night. So you got to have that mental attitude. You got to be a little bit of toughness, and you got to be able to work hard and match that all with in the love for animals. And, you know, that's a hiree that we want. But to go to school and learn it, no. You know, to come with us, you get pretty much got to be hired on, and then you're trained for about a good solid year. And then even I've been doing this for almost 13 years. I'm still learning every year.
Being a business owner while in this line of work makes balancing the two a challenge, but it has its rewards too.
It's tough. Everybody asks me that, but it's priority. During the day, I'm at work. I handle all my stuff. I got hockey with my son. We got, you know, weekend work, but being an owner has its benefits. I do employ 13 guys under me, so come the weekend and after hours, they take the calls, and it leaves me free to do what I need to do at night. Don't get me wrong, though. Something happens at 2 o'clock in the morning. I get the phone call, and I need to be ready to go do what I need to do.
From time to time, a call comes in for something a little bit different.
We've had a Cayman call, so it's a gator. So what has happened is somebody's got it illegally, got too big for the cage, and they let it go. So we were called to a watering system, and we ended up seeing it there, and it wasn't actually us that caught it. We couldn't catch it because it was in the water, and a guy the next day was out walking his dog and saw it and caught it and called us up and called the police and said, I got it for you. So sometimes we go, okay, even the pros can't do it, and we had a civilian actually catch it for us. Well, if you want to get more information on us, we're online at allwildlife.ca. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and we're also associated with the Brantford SPCA, Antlers in Brantford, Able Pest Control, so there's lots of ways to go about and get a hold of us.